Canterbury's Banks Peninsula is facing widespread flooding for the second time in a year. It's one of several areas under a state of emergency. State Highway 75 has been closed for more than 24 hours, and residents in Wainui and Little River are under boil water notices. Banks Peninsula Councillor Tyrone Fields says the community's been working with government agencies for years to try to prevent flood damage. But he says the reality is there's a huge catchment in Little River and water has to go somewhere. The lower North Island is still being impacted by power outages and road closures. A warning that any potential toll roads need to be carefully planned. The Infrastructure Commission's 30-year plan for infrastructure suggests adding a $9 toll to the current harbour bridge to pay for a second harbour crossing. National Road Carriers CEO Justin Umbers says we need to find creative ways to pay for infrastructure. He says if the toll is too high, it could distort land prices and change where people want to live. Meanwhile, the top of New Zealand's been singled out as the least resilient when it comes to disaster recovery. The New Zealand Infrastructure Resilience Index looks at electricity, roading, telecommunications and water data to measure how regions deal with shocks like severe weather and natural disasters. Vulnerable energy supplies and exposure to extreme weather have been deemed weaknesses for Auckland and Northland, whereas Waikato and Southland's stable infrastructure puts them as the strongest regions. We'll learn today where the new Reserve Bank Governor sees the OCR heading. The central bank's expected to keep the official cash rate unchanged at 2.25%. It's thought reviews into the Teaching Council are a warning for all high-risk sectors. The Public Service Commission and Education Ministry have found issues with leadership, culture, priorities and child safety. A major financial conflict of interest involving the Chief Executive was also uncovered. New Zealand Institute of Directors CEO Kirsten Patterson says the cost of getting this wrong shouldn't be reputational damage, but the risk of harm to those who rely on these organisations for protection. US political leaders are paying homage to civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson, who's died aged 84. Jackson fought for civil rights alongside Martin Luther King Jr. in the 60s, heading the movement for decades following King's assassination. President Donald Trump's called him a force of nature, and former Vice President Kamala Harris says he's one of America's greatest patriots.